Morning, little chilblains, and here we've got a new morning of spelling. This week we've got the sounds ost, ol, and old. So it's OST, OLL, and OLD where the O makes the O sound, and it's not ost, all, and old. It's ost, ol, and old. Okay. So this is our learning outcome to identify, read, and spell words with ost, ol, and old letter pattern. Find and read words. Explain the spelling rule and correctly spell these words OST, OLL, and OLD letter patterns. Okay, so this is from last week, if you can remember all the way back there, our speed spell. And if you need to pause, obviously, anytime you can do that to hear the words. So number 1, child. The child sang sweetly in the class. Child. Number 2, hind. There's a phrase, you can talk the hind legs off a donkey. You might have heard that phrase, just means talk a lot. Hind. Number 3, blind. A game that I used to play when I was young was called Blind Man's Buff. You might know that game, you might not. Blind. Number 4, blindfold. In Blind Man's Buff, you had to wear a blindfold. Blindfold. Number 5, mind. What's on your mind today? Mind. And finally, number 6, mindful. Be mindful that the baby is sleeping. Mindful. Okay, that's your 6. Let me know how you got on. And here are your answers. You can check. I'd like for everybody to get 6 out of 6. Okay, so this week, OST, OLL, and OLD are pronounced with a long O sound. So here are some words. You'll know these words. Most, bold, scold, postmark, and swollen. So this time we're back to 3 sets. Green, orange, and they're blue here instead of red. I'm still going to call them red even though they're blue. Okay, so most of these words you'll know. Post, host, most. Host is somebody who holds a party and looks after everyone. Roll. Now that roll is either rolling down the hill or something that you would put bacon and egg in, that kind of roll. There is another spelling and another meaning of roll. Toll. Toll is like a payment. I'm trying to think of an example when you would pay a toll. It used to be on some bridges you paid to cross them, and that was called a toll, and they were called toll bridges. Also in the city centre there's a big tall tower right in the middle of the traffic, and that is the toll booth because people used to pay a toll to come into the city. A troll. Old, bold, cold, and fold. Okay, our orange words: almost, ghost. I think ghost was one that came up with a silent H a few weeks back. Gold, hold, sold, told, scold. Now scold means to tell somebody off. So if, for example, you've been naughty, I'm sure none of you have ever been naughty, but if you've been naughty, somebody might scold you, tell you you've been naughty. And stroll is another word for a walk, and scroll, scrolling down the screen on the computer. Okay, and the blue stroke red ones: goal post, Sign, post. So sign, I think, also came up maybe in a previous one. It seems familiar to me. Foremost. So if something's foremost, it's right at the front. People talk about something being in the foremost of their minds. If they can't stop thinking about it, say for example, you were going somewhere really exciting and you couldn't stop thinking about it, you would say it was foremost in your mind. Postmark, that's something that is on a letter. If a letter's got a stamp on it, it needs to have a postmark to show that the stamp can't be used again. And the postmark usually would tell you where the letter has come from, what city. So if it comes from another country, then the postmarks can be quite exciting. Payroll is in a company or somewhere, a big employer, a big company that employs lots of people. They would have somebody in charge of making sure everybody gets the right amount of money, and that is payroll. I mean, I don't really know what happens in the payroll departments of companies, but it's something to do with that. Droll. Now, droll is if somebody is funny, but the way they tell their jokes, they don't tell them like they're jokes. You would say that person was droll. It's kind of comedy thing. Swollen, obviously just bigger than it should be. Controller, blindfold, and stronghold. Stronghold is a kind of army term. If you've got a stronghold in a place, it means, like for example, if there was an army that was going to take over a city, if they had a stronghold in the city, that would mean that they'd almost won the war. So that's what stronghold means. Okay, so yeah, these are our words. Oh, let me do the common words as well. Pick word each, which, there. Now, the last two, which and there, are words that often get muddled. So which, there means which one of these should I pick? It's got nothing to do with witches at Halloween. And there means belonging to them. It doesn't mean over there, and it doesn't mean they are. It means belonging to them. So that is their book, that is their house, that is their shop. Okay, belonging to them. Okay, so have a good week with these words and look forward to the test on Friday.